Well, gang, I think it's done. Roseblight Chapter 2 is finished. And by finished, I mean like all the core stuff is finished. I still have some other stuff that I have to do before I consider the game to be complete. Like hiding palette shards. I still gotta finish the Friday Blight Funkin' side quest thing, and just like polishing, bug testing, all that jazz. But for now, the main story is complete. It's possible to play through the entire thing. So this is probably going to be my last devlog for the game. If I don't make one post-release, this will be my last one. I have some neat video ideas for the game after it's out, so this is going to be like the last time I make a video or anything about it. But this will also probably be my shortest devlog, since I don't really have much to go over. So just straight out the gate, I want to go over a few things that are just some general changes to the overall structure of the game. So it isn't going to be separated into chapters anymore, and instead it's just going to be like one whole thing. I initially started off referring to like different sections as chapters in order to, I guess, make it easier to make the game as a whole, and to have it easier to manage and stuff like that. Now that it's done, it feels weird kind of having like just 2 chapters and having it end there. So I think Roseblight is just gonna be like the whole thing. Like it's not gonna be like a chapter 3 or anything like that. I could probably split like the whole game into like smaller chapters. Like I could like split chapter 1 into like 3 different ones, and then chapter 2 maybe like 2 or whatever, just to make it easier for people to pace themselves when playing. In one of my previous devlogs, I mentioned that the whole bond thing is how you'll be able to progress instead of like leveling up and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I've decided that I'm gonna have progression tied to how many palette shards you've collected instead. So every time you collect one, your overall power increases slightly, and that's also how you unlock like new abilities for certain characters. At this moment, there are about like maybe 15, 16 hidden, and I'm planning on having like a max of 30. So at least for now. So I have like just a little bit more to put. Allies that you unlock throughout the game will show up at certain points as NPCs along your journey. So once you befriend them, they'll basically be hanging out doing their own thing. I've also sort of streamlined how you interact with party members. So everything involving like adding, removing them, switching them will be a lot more easier and I guess more organic. The only major thing that I'm planning on adding at this point is like in-game achievements, which will probably be like an extra slot in the inventory menu. I've also been like going back through and playing some of the like earlier parts and just like doing general like tweaks and fixes, and at this point this is like literally all I'm doing for the game. And I went through the entire thing and just like played it. It's roughly 2.5 hours long, so it's not too long. That's for the main story at least, and that will probably vary for some people. I can't tell how good the replayability is for the game. For me personally, I like running around in like the wild areas and just beating up enemies, and I don't know if anybody else will find that fun. But I get a lot of joy out of that. And of course, there's always speed running, but I doubt that'll be very competitive. Overall, the game's it's fine. I know the game isn't going to be perfect, and I know I can't please everybody with it. Just playing through it now, there's a lot of core issues with it that I can't really change. I know people will try to find ways to break and crash the game. People will criticize the artwork. People say the writing is sloppy. People say the music isn't really their taste. And I'm fine with that because I made something I'm proud of. For the small handful of people that are expecting me to make like a new Discord, I've decided that I'm not going to be making one after the game's release. It was nice to have a small community of people who care about what I'm working on, and I'll always cherish the fond memories of it for when it was around. Recently, I received some unpleasant messages on my Ko-fi page that were like, "You deleted the Discord server because you banned me and ran away because you're a coward." Okay, sure. Tell yourself whatever you need to in order to sleep at night. Just keep in mind that I don't tolerate malicious or toxic behavior. And if the only people who are willing to support me and give me money are people who make me miserable, then I don't want a fan base to begin with. I know all fan bases always have that loud minority that makes them look bad. And I know not everyone is like that, but damn, those people are persistent. Also not going to be doing any kind of like public beta testing. That will most likely be private. I want to try and get people who aren't really interested in the game to play it, just so I can have like an unbiased first-time player experience for the entire thing. And once that's done and the game's in good shape, I'll prepare for a full release, hopefully in the next few months or so. I want to give myself plenty of wiggle room in case anything major goes wrong, like if Steam is going to act like a punk again, or if there's something major in the game that needs to be changed. I don't think I'm going to try and hype up the release too much, so I'll probably make a few trailers and spam things on Twitter and Reddit and just call it there. When I take off the rose-tinted glasses and I look at Roseblight as a whole, I don't see a masterpiece. I see a game that sort of has a hard time with its identity, which is kind of ironic. When you look at other popular games, you can pretty much describe what the game is about in like a sentence or two. Among Us, a game about deception and betrayal. Cuphead, a brutal platformer with an old-timey animation style. Undertale, an RPG where you don't have to kill anybody. Hell, Buckler 2 is just a platformer about beating the crap out of people with a shield. But Roseblight, I don't know what it's about. I mean, I do know what it's about, but I can't really like pitch it to anybody. Best I can say is an RPG about a person who wears overalls. It has puzzles. It has a somewhat tolerable combat system. It has an interesting cast of characters and a setting, and the story's not that bad. But it doesn't have like the same like thing other games have. And I think that's probably one of its biggest weaknesses. I guess it just doesn't have that broad appeal. It just is what it is. It's just Roseblight. I'm not making Roseblight to fuel any kind of internal desires or anything. I'm not making it because I'm greedy and I want to make a lot of money. I'm not making it to fuel my ego and have like a giant fan base full of dedicated fans to my craft. I'm not making it because I want people to make Rule 34 of my characters. I'm not making it out of anger or rage or malice. I'm making it because I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I didn't. I just follow my passion and just go with what I want to go with. If things don't go that well, that's fine. I'll just do what I normally do and just continue moving forward. I want to say thank you to all the people who have, helped me on my journey. Whether it's, following me on Twitter or providing feedback or making fan art or just, quietly observing the game. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So thank you. I mean it. Yeah. best thing anyone can do is just keep your eyes peeled for future updates. And yeah, thank you for accompanying me on my descent into madness.